Good morning. We will be discussing the importance of effective communication. When communication is effective, it leaves all parties involved satisfied and feeling accomplished. By delivering messages clearly, there's no room for misunderstanding or alteration of messages, which it decreases the potential for conflict. And the next one is when communication is effective, both student and the teacher benefits. Communication makes learning easier, helps students achieve goals, increases opportunities for expanded learning, strengthens the connection between student and teacher, and creates an overall positive experience. So, for you to have an idea, I will be showing you some of effective communication to use it in everyday, and these are self-esteem, class performance, and of course, lastly, professional growth. So the first one is self-esteem. In general, people want to be heard. If a teacher shows interest in a student opinions, of course, that student will feel that their thoughts or ideas are appreciated. This increases their self-esteem and confidence, and the student is very much happy. The next one is class performance. Teachers who reward student communication and class participation will notice an improvement in overall class performance. By asking questions, a teacher can determine students if there are lack of responses from the class. It is likely that the student were unable to understand the lecture, of course, because all of it will be participation. Next one is professional growth. A degree of communication is required in every profession, and communication skills are necessary at even the most preliminary stage of career growth. For example, an applicant must be able to communicate her skills and abilities during an interview in order to acquire a job. Next one is in studying this subject, I learned a lot and acquired communication skills in written and verbal communication. The skills that I have required from the lecture of my subject teacher in GEC are the following. So, first one that I acquired from my teacher is listening. Listening is like one of the most important aspects of communication that I've acquired. Successful listening is not just understanding of spoken or written information, but it is also an understanding of how the speaker feels during the communication, because listening is important. And the next one is if a speaker can see or feel that someone is listening and understanding, that can help build stronger, deeper relationship. Careful listening can also create an environment in which everyone feels safe to express ideas or plan and solve problems in creative way. Straight talking conversation is the basis of communication, and one must not neglect its importance. Even a simple friendly conversation with colleagues can build a mutual trust and even detect problems before they become serious. Next one is a healthy dose of chatting with an unknown person can lead to a business opportunity. It can be, how do I say this? It can be like be accessible and friendly, because then you will be able to talk to almost anyone because of what you have acquired or what I have acquired. Next one is nonverbal communication. I've learned that when we talk about things that matter to us, we send a lot of nonverbal messages. Nonverbal signals are wordless communication, body position, facial expression, hand movements, gesture, eye contact, attitude, and etc. It's just the overall the way we look. Speaking of the way we look, listen, create, react, gesture speaks far more about feelings than words will be able to. Developing the ability to understand others and use non-verbal signal will help us connect in challenging situation and build better relationship at home and at work. So next one is stress management. In small quantities, stress can be very useful and encouraging for work. However, when the stress becomes constant and completely begins to take effect, it can really affect communication, the clarity of opinion, and appropriate behavior and action during the conversation. So next one is, when you are under stress, you may understand other people, send you may misunderstand other people, send confusing nonverbal signal, and use funny patterns of behavior. How often did you feel stressed during discussion with your friends or colleagues, then said or did something you regretted later? If you improve stress management skills, not only will you avoid this subsequent regrets, but you will also be able to influence other people you are entering into a conflict. So like, you have the complete control over all the emotion. And speaking of emotion control, in communication, feelings play an important role. Making decision more often affects the way you feel than the way you think. Guided by emotion, your nonverbal behavior affects the understanding of other people and how others understand and perceive you. Well, as a future educator, I will be giving you some tips on how you can be an effective communicator for overall guide, because I'm going to be a teacher someday. I hope so. So like, you must be you must identify your objectives and listen actively, because listening can be really important, just like what I said earlier. And note your body language, know your audience, pace yourself, choose the right time, be clear, and just keep on practicing until you achieve your goals. So like, that's all for today. Thank you for listening, and I just wanted to say, ma'am, thank you. I've learned a lot from you, and just thank you, and God bless you and your family. I hope you're all safe. And for those who watch the video, I hope you learned something from my discussion. That's all.
Wow, sakto. Ang galing.